Alright, so in my quest to stop a vehicle with something practical you can actually shoot, I got these, I forget the name of them, I'll just roll it in. These shotgun shells that are supposed to be made specifically for stopping vehicles. Now, no doubt, even with a normal slug, if like a car was going by and I put one in the grill, I could catch up with it down the road with my own car, but we're looking at actually like stopping them. Something else I didn't notice that, I don't know how I didn't notice it, but those cylinder heads I'm shooting at are actually aluminum. They're not cast iron, so that might make a difference. I'll have to get a cast iron head out here and redo the test with the 223 and the 308. But so what my parameters are to be able to stop the vehicle, it's got to be able to punch through the cylinder head. Because you got to remember, if you were to shoot at a car, it would have to go through like the fender, a bunch of other crap to get to the block, or like through the grill, the radiator, the front block casing, and then get into the block. So I figured if it can go all the way through the cylinder head, it's a viable option. So let's give it a try on this and see if these slugs can actually do what they're supposed to. The slug most definitely penetrated, but it didn't make it through. You can actually still see it in there. Right in there. So I would say definitely not. You would get a instant stop. I did hit the valve. Maybe if I put it here, it might go through. But let's try it on some other stuff and see how well they work on like bricks and logs. The shotgun I'm going to be performing this test with is a 12 gauge. This particular shotgun, if you aren't familiar with it, is called the Pig Stick. And no, that's not a derogatory statement against police or something like that. It's called the Pig Stick because... Here, piggy, piggy, piggy. That's why it's called the Pig Stick. Now, the shotgun has a 20-inch barrel. It's got an overall length of 39 inches. It's got a length of pull of 12 1/4, which is my length of pull. Heat shield, ghost ring sights. And it's a 590A1, so it also takes a bayonet, and it's got a ported barrel. Now, on the box of ammunition, they are advertising that this particular slug will take out a vehicle. The vehicle they have on the box is a 97-99 International, which will have the DT 466 in it. Now that's actually a good pick because you don't actually have to shoot that engine. It'll just take itself out. We had nothing but problems with those. I think we went through like starter, 2 trannies, and I believe 2 engines. That's actually the engine my stepmom was running, and she called us up and she's like, hey, it's making a lot of noise and I don't have any power. And we're like, oh, just pull it over. We'll shoot down to Iowa and see what the problem is. It let go of a valve keeper. The valve fell inside the piston, and then it just kept smashing the piston into the head. It was completely flattened, and parts of the valve were embedded in the piston, parts of the valve were embedded in the head. I don't know why, but those Internationals, they were a complete fail. Don't buy them. Shortly after, they went to a Cummins, and then they run good. But we're going to pretend that this motor will not just eat itself, and you won't just have to follow the vehicle around for a while and just wait for it to die. The test, I wanted to go completely through the cylinder head, because on that particular International, or any sort of medium-duty truck, the slug is going to have to go through the grill, it's going to have to go through the intercooler, it's going to have to go through the radiator, the power steering cooler if it's got one, the oil cooler if it's got one, through the fan, through some pulleys, and then it's finally getting to the cast iron of a diesel engine. Because it couldn't even pierce that little itty-bitty aluminum head, I highly, highly doubt you would be able to do that. Now let's say, alright, so here I am, here's the truck. If I'm standing right here and the truck goes by and then I put one through the fender and I manage to hit the fuel pump, which would be a hell of a shot, it would be more of accident over intentional purposes, yes, then it would be an insta-kill. Now, like I said earlier in the video too, yeah, I could just see that truck go by and put one in the grill and follow it around for like 30 miles, yeah, we'll go 10 to 30 miles and it will eventually overheat and shut itself down. But the idea, I mean, we're talking about a 12 gauge. If you're trying to take down a vehicle, I'm assuming it's because you don't want it to go somewhere that you know is really, really close by or something like that. I doubt you're just trying to put one through the grill so you can catch up with it down the road and rob it. So we'd want an instant stop. So I believe those slugs are a failure. They do not do what they're supposed to do because it should have had no problems piercing that little cylinder head. If it could have done that, then yes, I would be like, okay, it's reasonable to expect that it's possible that the slug can go through all that crap in front of the engine and still have enough penetrating power to cause some sort of catastrophic damage. Now, hitting an engine at a hole and causing some sort of catastrophic damage that will insta-take it out, it's probably not going to happen, but we're going to pretend that the slug just needs to get in there. Realistically, you'd have to hit, like, the timing chain, or the coil pack, or the distributor, or the vehicle's computer. If it's a diesel engine, you'd probably have, well, unless it's a newer one that's got all the sensors, but, I mean, this particular International, everything's still manual. It's still got a manual fuel pump. Everything's still manual. You'd have to hit, like, the fuel cutoff solenoid. You'd have to hit the fuel pump. If it's not gear drive and it's actually got a chain in it, you'd have to hit the timing chain, or you'd have to come across and just hit the top of the valve cover and get it in there so it hits like one or two valves if it's a straight six, because of straight six diesel. Usually if you can take out one cylinder, the whole thing will shut down. Now if it's a V8, that's a different story. So the likelihood of hitting something critical that would take the engine down is very poor, but we're going to pretend that, it's just got to get in there. And because it wouldn't even pierce this aluminum cylinder head, I would say that's probably not going to happen. So let's check out some more footage and see what else we can learn out of these slugs. Since they're no good against engines, let's see what they are good against. Alright, so now I got a cinder block set up there. Let's see if we can get full penetration on it. I'd like to see the slug go through both sides. Well, it definitely did something. It's through because I can't find the backside of the brick because the brick just got demolished. But there is a bunch of brick dust going up the hill. I don't see an impact anywhere, any sort of cratering. I could just be missing it. So it does appear the slug was stopped by the brick, but it completely destroyed the brick. Possibly. May have went through, but I don't think so. Like I said, I don't see any impact craters. So what did we learn from that test? A cinder block wall, if somebody's shooting at you with a shotgun, even if they're using this super special forces slug that's probably some sort of case-hardened lead, because that's the only thing that makes sense to me, a cinder block wall will give you limited cover. It's going to be limited cover. The cinder block wall will stop the slug, or at least slow it down enough to where it's got no kinetic energy left, but one shot will take out the brick. So if there's like 3 bricks right there, you're only going to be able to stay under the cover for 1 shot. Then after that, your cover has expired. Understand, too, if they hit that wall and you happen to be looking in that direction, you're going to have a bunch of crap in your eyes. You're not going to be able to see anymore. So these are all things you need to be considering. So let's check out some more cover and see what else would work. Alright, now I got that log there. It's roughly 11 inches in diameter. Let's see if the slug can pierce through the log. Let's go check it out. I didn't see the brick bust up in the back, but that doesn't mean much. Let's go see if there's any sort of pass-through. And impact the brick right here and just splattered. A tree would definitely be good cover against a slug. There was like no kinetic energy left. It looks like the slug actually broke into 2 pieces. Exit here and an exit here. I don't know exactly how that happened. But yes, it did pass through, but just barely. Here's even a part of the slug that was behind the log. Alright, so what did we learn about that test? Now, I watched the footage several times. And it appears the slug hits, and then the wad kind of goes off to the side. But I don't really see a possibility that the wad would have been able to strike the brick, because the log was completely covering the brick. Unfortunately, with my current camera and software technology, I can't slow it down slow enough to be able to track the slug through flight. Even when I drop the resolution down to like 1080p and I shoot in 240 frames, that's too much power for my current computer and software. It gets all glitchy and then I can't use the footage anyway. So we're just going to have to take it at face value. Face value is the slug was able to go through the log and had just enough kinetic energy left to remove the paint on the brick. Is it possible somehow the wad got back there, maybe like ricocheted off something and then struck the brick? Yes, but it's not very likely. The most likely circumstance would be that inside the log, the slug tore into two pieces. One went out one side, which I couldn't find a splash because I don't have enough frame rate. I looked. I was trying to find a splash in the dirt somewhere, but I can't find one anywhere. Or maybe, like, the log just split. Maybe the log kind of did something like this. The slug went through on its trajectory, came across here, but the log actually split in 3 different pieces, and that's not actually an exit right there. It's just the wood cracking apart. Either which way, the point is, a tree is most definitely good cover for a slug. Yeah, a small tree, because 11 inches is... This is a relatively small tree, just big enough to get behind. If it would have been any bigger of a tree, if I would have been at any farther of a distance, if it would have been oak instead of pine, yeah, most definitely the tree would have stopped the slug. Rifle, not so much. Slug, oh, definitely. It's just too big, and it's moving too slow, and it delivers its kinetic energy too quickly into an object. It loses all its momentum and kinetic energy as it hits the tree. So yeah, a tree, definitely good cover for slugs. And remember, these are supposed to be special forces slugs, which, again, I'm guessing is just case-hardened lead. I think we're going to try that cylinder head one more time, see if I can't miss the valve, and see what happens. Alright, we'll give it one more chance on the cylinder head. I'm going to try to place the slug between the 2 cylinders. It doesn't appear that it did any better, but let's go check it out. Damn it all, I hit a valve again. And it's just kind of, well, that's the wadding. Went through. No pass through. And remember, these are aluminum, not cast iron. Still no pass through. Yeah, in the video I said I hit the valve, but no, I actually just missed slightly. And I went through a water jacket. So if it was going to pass through, that would have been the place where it would have happened. Now, these are aluminum heads. I need to do all these tests again and repeat them with cast iron heads because cast iron is brittle. That's why it's so difficult to weld. For example, I worked at a machine shop for a while. There was an older guy there that could weld cast iron. He would use a nickel rod. Now, before I tell you the next part of his process, I want you to understand, I'm pretty sure he was jerking me around, but he said you had to get the vibrations to line up in the metal and bring the spirit together. So, while he was welding, he would have me take a little hammer or a piece of rod and tap on it like this, and then he would keep the temperature kind of low. But while I was tapping on it like this, underneath his helmet, I don't know what the hell he was saying, but it sounded like, Like I said, I'm pretty sure he was jerking me around, and I called him on this, and he said, no, it's important because you need to get everything to sync up and bring the spirits together to get it. And I tried welding cast iron myself. I don't know if I didn't get the temperature right, but it literally cracked right next to my weld. But I also wasn't doing the hammer thing or singing. And that may have some sort of vital part. But I don't even know what the hell he was singing, because it literally sounded like, hey, but then he would jump around. If I have broken cast iron, I will literally drive back to that machine shop and have him weld it for me, because he would weld the farm equipment up and it would not break. So, it's possible to weld. I've seen it done, but it's tough. And maybe the kinetic energy that a bullet brings into cast iron would be enough to cause a chain reaction like shatter, and like the head would split in two or something like that. I do have a cast iron head, so we're going to start again. We're going to go with 223, 308, go 12 gauge. I don't know if I can still get those slugs anymore because I was looking on the interweb. And they're not for sale anywhere, but that might have something to do with the fact that they're making false claims. Because there is no way in shit you're going to stop a medium-duty truck with one of those slugs unless the spirits come together, the harmonies line up, and that slug just happens to hit the fuel pump or something that's vital to the engine running. Just smashing the block or putting it into the cylinder head, yeah, that's not going to happen. Holy hell, I can't believe I did not put this together. I'm willing to bet what had happened is they were shipping out a truckload of their slugs, probably the very exact truck that's on the box right there. They probably just snapped a picture of the truck, and while they were in transit, that truck engine blew up, and they're like, that is marketing right there. Our slugs can stop a medium-duty diesel truck. Boom. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully in the future I'll get a better camera and better software, and then we can actually track the projectile through flight and be able to see exactly what's going on. But right now, you know, we're just going to wing it and go with what we can. In the future, I'd also like to get some ballistic gel so I can put that behind a log and see if maybe, like, if the rifle round goes through or something like that, that it don't have enough penetration power. But it's all stuff for the future. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you'd like to check out any of my other videos, click on the links up here. If you'd like to help support the channel, I got my Patreon. I also got affiliate links in the description down below. Even if you don't buy what the link is for, just clicking on that link and doing the Amazon shopping you were going to do anyway, I get a little kickback for it because you went there off my channel. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.